The alarm goes off. It is pitch black outside. It is a jarring, synthetic noise that pulls you violently out of sleep. You open your eyes, and instantly, a heavy wave of guilt washes over you. You are already failing the day. According to the internet, by this exact moment, you should have already taken a freezing cold ice bath, meditated for 45 minutes in perfect silence, written 3 pages in a gratitude journal, and completed a grueling, high-intensity workout. You are told that if you don't complete this punishing 2-hour checklist before the sun comes up, you will never be successful. You will never be a millionaire. You will simply be left behind. And worst of all, when you hit the snooze button and fail to do all of this, you start your morning feeling like you have already lost the game. Society has turned the simple biological act of waking up into a relentless full-time job. We are sold a toxic lie that a perfect morning routine requires sheer willpower, physical suffering, and a monk-like discipline. But the truth about human biology is incredibly different and vastly more forgiving. You do not need a 10-step, heavily monetized morning routine to optimize your brain. You are not a machine that needs to be aggressively reprogrammed before dawn. You are a biological organism. And according to modern neuroscience, there are only 3 simple, brutally effective morning habits that actually matter. Everything else is just noise. Let's start with the very first thing you do. The moment your feet touch the floor, the craving hits. You drag yourself into the kitchen, practically sleepwalking, and immediately press the button on your Nespresso C61. You listen to the low hum of the machine in the dark. You watch the dark liquid pour into the mug, desperately believing that this immediate hit of caffeine is the only thing standing between you and total physical collapse. You drink it, and you feel a brief, artificial surge of energy. But by 2 in the afternoon, you crash completely. You feel like a zombie, staring blankly at your computer screen, your brain fogged over, wondering why you are so deeply exhausted when you technically slept for 8 hours. The reason is a neurochemical called adenosine. Think of adenosine as a biological sleep meter in your brain, or like sand falling to the bottom of an hourglass. Every single second you are awake, a grain of sand falls. Adenosine constantly builds up, binding to specific receptors and making you feel increasingly tired. When you sleep, your brain works hard to clear this adenosine out. However, when you first wake up, there is still a lingering, stubborn amount of adenosine floating around in your brain. When you drink coffee within the first 10 minutes of waking up, the caffeine doesn't actually give you real energy. It acts like a piece of black tape covering a flashing red warning light on a car's dashboard. Caffeine perfectly fits into your brain's adenosine receptors, acting as a neurological sleight of hand. It temporarily blocks the sleepiness. But here is the devastating catch. Your brain continues to produce new adenosine in the background. When the caffeine finally wears off in the early afternoon, the tape is ripped off. All of that built-up, trapped adenosine floods your receptors at the exact same time. It hits you like a brick wall. This is the infamous afternoon crash. Neuroscience offers a stunningly simple fix. This is habit number 1. Delay your caffeine intake for exactly 90 minutes to 120 minutes after waking up. By simply waiting, you allow your body's natural morning cortisol spike to naturally clear out the remaining adenosine. When you finally have that coffee an hour and a half later, the caffeine binds to completely clean receptors. The energy lasts all day, and the afternoon crash completely vanishes. You don't need an ice bath. You just need to wait 90 minutes before you press the button on the coffee machine. But what do you do during that 90-minute window? This brings us to habit number 2. Which leverages arguably the most powerful biological trigger in the entire human body: light. Currently, your second morning habit is likely reaching for the glowing rectangle of your smartphone. You lie in the dark, squinting at a painfully bright, artificially backlit screen. You absorb bad news, urgent emails, and social media notifications before your brain is even fully online. This immediately traps your nervous system in a state of reactive, high-alert stress. You have to remember that your brain does not actually know what time it is. It is trapped inside a dark, quiet bone skull. It has no concept of modern clocks. The only way it knows that a new day has started is through your eyes. Inside your retina, there are specific, highly specialized neurons called melanopsin cells. These cells are not designed to see shapes, text messages, or colors. They are designed exclusively to detect the exact quality of sunlight entering the Earth's atmosphere. Habit number 2 is getting direct sunlight in your eyes within 30 minutes of waking up. You do not need to look directly at the sun, but you must physically step outside. Looking through a glass window or a car windshield does not work. Because standard glass filters out the specific wavelengths of light your ancient brain desperately needs to see. When natural, unfiltered sunlight hits those melanopsin cells, they send a rapid electrical signal directly to a tiny region deep in your brain called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. This is your biological master clock, and it has dictated the behavior of your ancestors for millions of years. When this clock receives the sunlight signal, it triggers a massive, healthy, natural spike of cortisol and dopamine. This wakes up your immune system, sets your metabolism for the day, and most importantly, starts a silent 16-hour timer. Exactly 16 hours after that morning sunlight hits your eyes, your brain will release melatonin, ensuring you fall asleep perfectly that night. 5 to 10 minutes of standing outside, just looking at the sky, does more for your daily energy levels, your focus, and your sleep quality than any expensive supplement or complex productivity app ever could. Finally, we arrive at habit number 3. The internet aggressively tells you that you must perform a high-intensity, sweat-drenched workout at 5 in the morning to be considered a productive human being. You are told to lift heavy iron or run on a treadmill until you feel sick. If you genuinely enjoy that, it is perfectly fine. But neurobiologically, your brain just needs one specific mechanical action: forward ambulation. Forward ambulation is simply the act of walking forward. But it is not just exercise. It is a profound neurological signal. When you walk, something incredible happens in your visual field. Objects pass by you. Trees, buildings, the ground. In neuroscience, this is called optic flow. Research has shown that optic flow directly signals the amygdala, the primitive fear and anxiety center of your brain, to instantly calm down. It tells your biological hardware, we are moving, we are navigating the world, we are not trapped in a cave. For millions of years, our prehistoric ancestors did not wake up and sit rigidly in an office chair or a car seat. They woke up and they physically moved forward through their environment to find water and food. When you are moving forward, your ancient biological hardware assumes you are making progress. The anxiety circuits are physically quieted and the dopamine circuits are gently activated. Habit number 3 is just taking a simple 10-minute walk while you are outside getting your sunlight. No running, no heavy weights, no punishing fitness routines. Just simple forward movement through space. Think about how radically different this is from the exhausting, impossible routines pushed by social media influencers. The digital world wants you to feel guilty. It thrives on your feeling of inadequacy. It wants you to feel like you are always one complicated, highly monetized morning habit away from perfection. But true, lasting optimization is not about adding more friction, more stress, and more abstract rules to your morning. It is about aligning your daily actions with millions of years of evolutionary biology. Delay your caffeine for 90 minutes to prevent the crash. Step outside and let natural photons hit your eyes to set your biological clock. Move your body forward through space to physically quiet your anxiety. 3 biological truths. 0 expensive morning routines. That is it. There is no magic journal, no secret visualization technique, and no need to torture yourself before the sun rises. Tomorrow morning, when you open your eyes, leave the guilt behind. You don't have to win the morning by fighting a brutal war against yourself. You just have to let your biology do exactly what it was designed to do.